Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Outer Rim Rambling with myself, the Outlaw Adam Neeson, joined as always by the Jedi Knight, Danny Brown. Danny, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Just getting used to the warmer weather being upon us. Even though now we had like a lovely sunny week, and now the rains come back, and it's like, yes, we're back in Ireland again. It's typical. Hmm? What
But
about you?
I'm good. I'm hot as always. Just like both through the weather and attractiveness. I had
Of
a woman
course.
the other day. Like she was like maybe 70. She was like, "You're very handsome," and I was like, "Still got it." But speaking of hot men, Johnny, I'm great at segues. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
good
Well,
at
brilliant.
can tell.
And
Yeah.
how apt as well, and how useful. Yeah, great.
it. Joining us today is one of our favorite actors, and we loved seeing him in the latest Star Wars movie, Mandalorian and Grogu. Joining us today is Mr. Jonny Coyne. Johnny, how are you, sir?
Hello there.
Are you good?
Yeah, yeah.
Johnny, first question. Why did Jon Favreau make a big deal about your character's name being Jonny Coyne?
It was such a it was such a it sort of a it dangled this carrot and it kind of went nowhere. I said, look, when I was questioned about it, I said people started assuming that was some sort of link to some historic Star Wars character. Maybe I was, sort of Skywalker's uncle or something. They started extrapolating from that little phrase, which is, oh, I think you're gonna like his name. Uh, I said, basically, all you're going to do is have a little wry smile at the end of it. I'm probably saying to people, don't expect too much out of it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dark helmet moment, and he's like, I was your uncle's brother's cousin's roommate, you know. But it was still good. It was one of those things. Just whenever it happened, I was like, yeah, Johnny Coyne. Okay, cool.
I get it.
And must how I suppose how does it feel for you to have this character now so closely linked to your own name? How does that kind of
Well,
feel?
I mean, it's first of all doing a Star Wars thing is amazing. Just to be part of that universe and this amazing story, but to have your name attached to it, and first of all, some people don't notice. Some people
Mhm.
still don't get it. But just it kind of makes it a little bit original and unique, and so it's given me that little tinge of uniqueness to the whole sort of experience, which is lovely.
Yeah, and what about when you're signing the autograph now? Is it weird kind of putting Johnny Coyne sort of together when you're signing
Yeah.
autographs?
Well, my signature is a slash J with a big C and Joy Coin. Whether I'm writing coin or coin, it's
Yeah.
no wiser. But I do actually ask if they want the character name underneath, and I always spell it out very clearly underneath.
Gonna say you're saying being part of the Star Wars world is kind of incredible. And
Yeah.
where does your kind of Star Wars journey begin? Were you a fan of the films and the TV shows before coming into it?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, you get asked this question a lot, and of course, I was Star Wars. I was right at the beginning. I was a fan of them, especially the first three, where I was sort of I felt like at an appropriate age to enjoy them. Uh, uh, but um, but I just don't have that nerd gene that a lot of people
Hmm.
have, and I've been asked questions by people at conventions, you know, about certain planets and certain storylines, which go into the books rather than the movies or the TV shows or anything like that. They are linked to stories that have been written out, and that's a level of nerddom that I don't understand and I can't possibly comment on. But as of you could call me a fan, absolutely. I mean, I loved the first three. I've seen all the others. Don't ask me any questions about the details of all of them. It's all a bit of a blur. But I mean, yeah, I've always been a fan of Star Wars. Why wouldn't you be?
Hmm. Yeah.
And at what point, Johnny, when you do the Mandalorian TV show, at what point after the show do they come to you and say, we're bringing the character back?
Okay, so I think it's all out of the closet at the moment. So here's the thing: we all knew there was going to be a season four,
Mhm.
and season four. kind of there was the actor strike, the writer's strike. Then there was, I mean, it was the tail end of COVID. I mean, I filmed my one episode in season three with, just at the tail end of COVID. And I did it by myself because I was ill. And so they brought me in and some pickups, and they just then hologrammed me. But then I was waiting around for about a year, waiting for season four to start, and I'd already been booked for season four, and then it went away, and I thought, okay, that's the end of that then. But then there was sort of rumblings of a movie, and then there was a talk of me being in the movie, and then there was talk of me being seriously in the movie. So, and then I got the offer. So that's the story. That's the entire the whole storyline of me getting this job. I got it from nowhere. I didn't audition for it. Somewhere along the line, Jon Favreau either saw a photo of me, said he's a villain, or saw me in something, said he's a villain, or just liked me because maybe saw me in something. I don't know. I really don't know. He's never been clear about that. But I got one of the sort of peachiest jobs in Hollywood, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and to think, your character in that is very much, your Imperial officer remnant, but your character plays something a bit different from your standard Imperial officer. You're kind of bringing a bit more of a crime boss element. We have seen Imperial officers who are greedy through like the Rebels TV show and that, but you're bringing that kind of a different level of smarminess that kind of goes nicely with the likes of the Maul Shadow Lord show and that. And
Yeah.
you're not just about bringing the Emperor back, you're kind of in it for your own gain. And you
Oh,
see that
absolutely.
through, your office and then your house. What's it kind of like bringing a character like that to life, especially when you're surrounded by such excellent practical sets and costuming, and even the trophy heads? You have the Tom Spinner
Yeah.
creature
Yeah.
trophies.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. What was that
Yeah.
like walking onto set and helping those elements helping to bring your character to life?
I mean, I walked onto the first part of the set is the bar with all the birds in the thing. So I'm the first time I'm walking into the place, and I'm going to shoot that scene, uh, and I'm walking into the bar itself. Thinking, this is amazing. This is just. I mean, we all like to be at a nice practical set. It's lovely when you see the doors and you don't see the back flaps or anything like that. It just feels very solid because the bar was also used on the outside of the bar was also used, so they had to make that solid as well. So for me, it was walking into this Shikari bar. Um, and so we went through that to my back office, which was just gorgeous, beautifully built, solid office. So it felt like and the desk is real. It's not plywood or MDF or anything. It is a solid, proper desk with proper things on it. So it's great for an actor because then you feel you've got some sort of firm foundation of your world, which isn't about looking at a golf ball or a tennis ball on a stick or anything like that. You've got a solid foundation of what you're working on. So I just approached it with like you would do any other part. Jon Favreau described to me what he was going to do. We had a FaceTime. I was in London. He FaceTimed me or Zoomed me rather, and he showed me all the sets, showed me my lair, my office, my bar, and he told me what he wanted to do with it. And he kind of described to me that he wanted this guy who ran his own sort of personal Thunderdome. So once I got that into my head, I went, okay, this is not going to be your standard Star Wars villain. I'm not going to be breathing into a mask or anything. So I enjoyed that element of it, and I kind of relished the fact of just doing something a little bit more. To say normal is the wrong thing. I don't mean it like that, but to play something that isn't heightened, that you're still working as an actor with your eyeballs and your voice and things.
Mhm.
You worked with Sigourney Weaver, and obviously you worked with Brendan Wayne a lot too. Was it
Yeah.
a bit of a pinch me moment when you're working with someone like Sigourney, who's so legendary, and then you've got the grandson of John Wayne beside you as well?
I mean, the first time I knew about John Wayne's grandson, uh, Brendan was just talking to me about things, and he was just saying, "Oh yeah, they got it in for my granddad, and my granddad this, and my granddad that." And I just thought, Brendan, sorry, I don't know. Why have they got it in for your granddad? Who's your granddad? He goes, "Well, my grandfather is John Wayne." I went, "Oh, oh!" I just sort of wanted to hold his head. I just I just wanted to touch, So I'm in degrees of separation from John Wayne. I guess I'm 1 degree of separation from John Wayne, and 2 degrees of separation from Wyatt Earp,
Mm.
because Wyatt Earp knew John Wayne knew Wyatt Earp in his later years. So there's something for you.
And how did you find? Because I think, you've sort of said before, a lot of your work was with Brendan and
Yeah,
Lateef sort of in
yeah,
your
yeah.
scenes. How did you find sort of working not your character doesn't do too much in the way of action. You're kind of sending out your stormtroopers and sending out your
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah,
hand man.
yeah.
But what was it like kind of seeing the practicality and physicality of those fights and all happening?
Oh, it's amazing to watch. I mean, obviously, we're watching. I'm watching a tamed down version as they walk through certain things. I'm not around when they do the big fights because that's done at, when you do a stunt fights, they're done at sort of a quarter speed,
Mhm.
half speed, build up slowly until eventually they play at full speed. So for safety's sake, it's all got to be done very, very carefully. And those are great stuntmen. They take some hits. Lateef is amazing. He's a two-time Emmy winner, and he's sort of been fingered as a very possible Oscar winner when they started reducing stunts to the American American Film Academy to the Oscars. So he's likely to win an Oscar at some point in his career. He's amazing, and the stunt team around him, they know how to take a fall, and it's spectacular when you see it on film. But you're watching it when you're watching them go through the motions. I don't want to take anything away from it, but it's a bit slow mo.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, and Johnny, sort of step away from Star Wars and to something that's very close to my heart. You worked on Twin Peaks: The Return with David Lynch.
Yeah.
In one of the most memorable scenes in television television history. How was it working with David, and sort of like how did that come about?
An audition.
Mhm.
That was an audition, and I didn't hear anything for about 6 months, and then suddenly I got an offer to come and play the Russian accountant who has an Uzi. Who's packing an Uzi for some reason. I guess he's a Russian accountant, and yeah, so that just came out there, and I just turned up to do the day's shoots with doing that scene. Yeah, it was amazing. It was lovely. It was amazing. And I'd worked briefly with Tim Roth on something, so it was nice to sort of reconnect with him. I was doing a play at the Geffen Theatre. I turned up for one day's rehearsal and realised that I wasn't up to it because it was a play called The Birthday Party. It's a Pinter play, and Tim Roth was the central character, the birthday boy, and I was to play a character called Goldberg, which is the most enormous part I would ever have had in my entire acting career. But they gave me 2 weeks to learn it when I thought I had about four, and I said I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. But Tim Roth, when he recognised me, said, "Well, we met before." I said, "Yeah, I was going to do that play at the Geffen," and he goes, "Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah." He goes, "Good call," because he actually it folded about 2 nights later because it just wasn't going to happen. People were walking out of it. Sorry, so actors walking off saying, "We just haven't got the time for this." Anyway, that's a boring story.
What about working on the likes of Preacher? You know, you're kind of saying there, you know, like coming and doing Mando and Grogu because you're working actor and, you know, working
Yeah.
with your eyes, being there, but working on something like Preacher, where you're made up in that big suit. What is a production like that like? And, you know,
It's
being,
wonderful. It's
yeah,
great. It's an hour and a half for putting the big goiter on. It was amazing. I know it's not a goiter; it's just fat, but it's just enormous amount of latex on you. And I don't know how the guy did it. The body itself is the top half of I want to say it's one of the X-Men movies. I can't remember the character itself, but it's when he's in a wrestling ring or a boxing ring, and his whole body's bloated and big, and he's got his legs and everything, and they're all giants. I've only got the top half of that, and it was enormous amount to carry, enormous, really exhausting to wear it. But it was great fun, and to sort of play with all the food and to have that much sort of presence, because it's a big character. You can play him. You can play him really small, very, very softly spoken, but you've got this enormous sort of gargantuan body in front of you. So it was huge fun to play that. Huge
yeah.
fun. Exhausting, but huge fun.
Yeah. And you never recreated the wafer thin mint bit from Monty Python, no?
Only tempting. I did get to sort of do what you always want to do when you got a big cake, and when you're angry, you just grab the cake and just squeeze it through your fingers, that sort of thing. Oh, I just love doing that. I don't know why that's satisfying, because I guess when we're kids, we want to be able to do that with cakes and things, right? And I got to do it as a grown up, you know.
Hmm.
With your acting career, I love when we have British actors on because I always check that you've done British TV royalty, and you've done the three. You did London's Burning, Casualty, and The Bill. Where
EastEnders, I've done that. London's Burning, and EastEnders. I did one episode of the EastEnders. Yeah, I mean that's you kind of got to do it. I did four bills. I think it stopped now. The bill stopped. I think it
yeah,
stopped.
So,
Yeah, it stopped. Yeah, I've been here for so long. I don't really know. Yeah, so yeah, done all four of those. Really, it's. I don't know. It's really nice working on these giant projects here. There's another level of artistry to doing the big stuff, and I think I just want to do this. Is all I ever wanted to do as a kid. I want as an actor. I wanted to do the big movies. I wanted to do the big shows. I want to be part of something a bit astonishing rather than, if you like, the norm.
mhm.
mhm, what would you like to go into, having now done the Mandalorian, Grogu, done a bit of Star Wars? What would you like to go into next? What sort of, do you have anything that you can talk about, or is there just anything
I've
that
got
you'd like to
nothing to talk about. I've been on this. I'm still in the process of sort of promoting this. Really, it's
do?
taken me. I've got four interviews today. It's an ongoing thing. I'm just trying to sort of max out the possibilities of this one as much as possible, and make sure that the next move I make is the move that will make me happy. I'm the tail end of my career. I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of go, you've been doing it for so long, you go, okay, let's just be a little bit choosy now and maybe find something that you'd really like. I don't know what I want to do, to be honest with you. I don't know. I usually am quite surprised about what comes along. Sometimes I have to graft for it and sweat through two or three auditions. Sometimes, like this, it's an offer. I did a few years ago, I did a film called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And again, that was a straight offer to me. I don't know how I got these jobs. It's always a thrill when they come to you for it. It means like somebody's noticed your work in all the years you've been doing it. So it makes you feel better about that. But I'm always surprised about how somebody sees me and they offer me something, and I go, oh, I would never have considered that. I think there's always a danger as an actor to sort of have an idea of who you are, that this is what you do. I do this, I only do this. I mean, I know I'm always the villain, but I like to think like I can play around the villain into the. But But I'm always surprised how people perceive me, and it makes it much more interesting to go along their view of you rather than what you find yourself as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just touching on sounds odd to say, touching on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, what was it like to work on that, especially with it being Chadwick's last film? Was there an idea at the time that
No,
he wasn't
no.
well, or was just business as usual? Yeah.
Business as usual. He looked very thin. I had worked very briefly on the King, a letter to the King. I can't remember. I think that's what it's called, a letter to the King, a letter from the King. And he was a healthy, full-bodied, vital man in that. And then at the first read-through of Ma Rainey, despite the fact that I'm in a room with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, and already my head's exploding and very nervous about having to read in an American accent, which I wasn't very good at, and wasn't sort of really confident on. But somehow I got the job, and I was in this room there, and this skinny guy came in. I was still waiting for Chadwick to come in, and I kept looking, and there he was. He was already in the room, and very skinny, very slim. Anyway, we had no idea. Nobody had He didn't say anything to anybody. He looked very frail, and so it was a bit of a shock to me that my big scene with him, which is the second to last scene that he ever acted in, because he insisted that once Viola Davis had done her scenes, that the film would be filmed chronologically so he can get it all in his head. And so we shot it. So consequently, mine was second to last scene, and his last scene was with Glyn Turman, where I won't give the spoiler away of what happens to them in that. But essentially, I was the second to last person to work with him, and then we hear that he's gone. It was a shock, really. Yeah, he was a lovely guy, very sweet, very, really kind of. He's very focused on his career. He's obviously ill. He was obviously ill, and just knew that he was probably going to be his last job. And there was a moment when he's telling the story of how he sort of his mother is raped, and he did it 3 or 4 times. But once, and it was always very emotional. It was always very emotional. I wasn't watching it because I was on the stairs waiting for things. And when he came through, he was completely in pieces. I mean, he was just distraught and just crying. I'm welling up just thinking about it, actually. He was just really just crying. And people were just passing by after he'd done the scene and just thought, just leave him alone. He's obviously in a place at the moment. And we thought it was the performance, but I think there was something else going on there. Clearly there's something else going on there, because he didn't do it every time. It was just at one moment, it had just sort of, sort of hit him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a great actor and like a beautiful soul, and obviously there's the charity and all donated after him now. He'd be greatly missed. He was
Yeah. Very special, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. When we messaged you, Johnny, to come on, I had said that you would be a great Bond villain, because that's what I thought. While watching you,
right here, I think you can't see it.
But I think the appeal to you, Johnny, is that you're also great at comedy. I think that Would You Rather, although it isn't a comedy, it's a very funny film, and your character in it is darkly comedic. I think, would Bond ever be on your wish list of franchises? And
yeah, but I think the days of the Bond villain being bald and having a what they call what's it called, the kind of jackets that sort of cling up there, close up there. Those days have gone, unfortunately. I would happily play Blofeld bald, or I think maybe Blofeld has a wig that he takes off when he's takes the blonde wig off and just puts it down, and it just sits on a mannequin or something. I would love to do a Bond villain, but I think those days have gone. Of being, I'm a bit more of an arch actor. I like to think I'm subtle, but I probably am not. And so having sort of a chance to do something like that would be amazing. But I think those days have gone. Really, they're much more. They're much more. Christoph Waltz now.
Mm-hmm. And say Jon Favreau was to kind of call you up and say, Johnny never, he never died. We didn't see anything happen. He just ratted out the Huts. What if they were to call and say, listen, Jonny Coyne's got some miles left in him, and we want to do what's his life like once he ends up, the New Republic let him go, but the Huts still have a bone to pick. What if they were to kind of call up and bring Johnny back?
Are you talking about a whole new series or just a whole new film? I mean, whatever.
Well, just whatever
I'll take it. The answer is yes, I'll take it.
You go back and play in a galaxy far, far away. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, friends of mine said, well, Disney are very loyal to their actors and that sort of thing. And it just gives you hope that there's always something more to come. Always. I mean, you always hope there's something comes from a movie or a job. You always hope that the next job you won't have to sweat it out with 3 auditions back to back. You just want to get off the job because most of the stress happens when you're trying to audition for something. I've just put myself on tape for something just now, for something I really, really love to do. But I've just put myself on tape, and he's just like, can't just give me the job, will you, please? I mean, I can't you see I'm getting old?
Would you not even turn around to Favreau or Disney now and just be like, listen, I've done suit work. Even put me in one of the alien suits or something,
Well, that's what they did, didn't I? That's what, I mean, I think, wasn't it, Michael... Samuel L. Jackson said, I'll do anything. I'll just be put me in a suit. And they said, oh, you want to be in it? Let's make him a Jedi.
Yeah.
So, I hope that they will just give me a little something else to do. I mean, I'm always happy to work, and I'm always happy to be part of something amazing like this. I don't know if you saw photographs of the premiere. It was just extraordinary, So just to be part of that world and to be part of that... I hate calling it a franchise, but it's a giant story. But to be part of that it just makes your heart soar,
Yeah. And what about meeting fans? I saw you were at a convention recently with Brendan and getting to meet fans of Star Wars and also all the other stuff you've been into.
Yeah.
What's that like? I'm sure that kind of makes it even more worth it when you meet people who, as you say, know even more than probably you do about your own character.
They totally do. They talk about worlds that I don't know anything about. I love my job and I love Star Wars, but I am not remote. I don't have that nerd gene in me at all. I just get lots of messages saying that's fine, it's not a problem. They're amazing. I mean, you got to hand it to these people of all ages. They are devoted. They are so happy when they're there. When somebody, big grinning face, says, I've seen it 3 times and is smiling at you, what's wrong with that? What's not to like about that? He's given you so much love. You've done nothing but be on screen, and purely for selfish reasons. You love doing your acting. You love being on stage. You love being acting, and you're part of a big film, and it makes you feel great. But they don't see that. They're just happy to meet you, and it's very humbling. Some beautiful people, very kind people who just have nothing but nice things to say to you. It's there's no harm in that at all. It's just beautiful, really. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And Johnny, we typically know that Star Wars actors get their body scanned. Did you get your body scanned? And is there a Janu figure in the future, action figure?
I hope so, because I hope my grandson that takes on Jay. He doesn't know. I think somebody might have let the cat out the bag, but he's about 4 years old and he's got Spider-Man. I just I just want him to be taking on Janu with his Spider-Man. And I mean, my action figure is probably going to be about this big, while his action. But I'd love the idea of the two of them fighting, and Charlie will have a great time with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think your figure should come with the parrot. You know, your parrot in your office. I think that would
The
look great.
parrot, that's I never thought of that, because I said I haven't got anything. Don't have a lightsaber. I don't have a mask. I don't have a helmet. I don't have anything. I just got a bald head and a grey jacket, which is the least interesting. But I've got, But now you say the parrot. If they can reveal it, release it with the parrot. Good idea.
Yeah,
Good
there we
idea.
go. We'll pitch to
Yeah.
Hasbro. There we go. Jonny
Please
Coyne
do.
with his parrot and maybe one of your salt crystals. There we go. That's your accessories.
A crystal. I mean, it's the least exciting element of the whole thing, but it's at least something. No, I mean, they did. I think they scanned. I'm pretty sure they scanned. I've been scanned in scanned. I've been scanned in very ordinary movies, all sorts of movies. I'm pretty sure I got scanned for this. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I've been scanned so many times. And it was a year and a half ago, so I don't remember quite. But yeah, hopefully. But they're not scanning for that. They're scanning for future use and possibilities of needing to use your figure, your body type or whatever, in some sort of process which you've signed out in your contract.
Yeah.
You'll look good on the shelf, Johnny, and we can't wait to see. Johnny will return. We'll send this directly to John and Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for your time, sir. It's been a true honor to talk to you.
Guys, it'd be lovely talking to you. Do sort of put my sort of one Jonny Coyne Instagram thing at the bottom of your page or whatever you need to do. I've only got 1,000 followers. I'm a novice in this. I'm an absolute novice, but that'd be nice to sort of get some numbers up and see more people liking and thumbing and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
100%.
We'll tag you in everything. And your countdown to the lead up to the film was fantastic.
So
Just
good.
your countdown to days. Fantastic.
Perfect promotion.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Johnny.
Okay.
And thank you everybody for listening. Danny, thank you as always as co-host. Everybody join us next week for more fun and shenanigans of the stars. And as always, we have friends everywhere. Bye everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.